Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
A reminder to anyone who rides Metro buses. That means the A, B, C, D, gold, orange, or red lines. Remember to pay your fare before you get on. Either buy a ticket at your station's ticket machine, tap your go-to card, or pass to the reader at the station, or activate a ticket on the Metro Transit app. Have your proof of payment ready to show to trip agents if asked, or risk getting a citation. Thanks for riding with Metro Transit. Again, that's Metro Transit.
Time is running out to see Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This moving exhibition of painting, poetry, and installation art explores memory's fragility and strength, honoring stories passed through generations. The show closes December 13th, so don't miss your chance to experience this transformative work. Visit All My Relations Arts before it's gone. Learn more about exhibition hours and events at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans, plus get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org. The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of snow with a low of 12. Then Friday, another possibility of snow in the morning with temperatures falling to 6. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut. He didn't cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, I just want to give a quick couple of shout outs here before I introduce what the show is going to be about today. We're about to enter our 10th year here on Native Roots Radio and on the mothership AM 950 and all across our network here in the Twin Cities, Illinois, and Wisconsin. Big network in Wisconsin. Big pinigigi to Civic Media for running our show, and all our relatives all through Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, and Iowa, and of course Minnesota and the Dakotas, and all over with Facebook Live. And you know, this show turns into a podcast right after the show is on. And I want to just give a special shout out to what I believe are Gen Zs, and there are quite a few people that download this show and listen to it later. And power to you. I really appreciate you doing that, and those numbers are pretty amazing. Hey, today's show we're going to have State Senator Mary Kunesh on, and a little different. We usually have her on Friday, but we're going to have her on today, and then also we'll have a replay of Wendy Pilot's Sacred Animal segment, and we're always good to hear that, and all the fun stuff and all the information that she's brought us over the years has just been amazing. I want to give a big shout out to all our customers that have been out to Dayton's for Native Roots Trading Post. Really big sales out there. Really appreciate that. We'll still be out there until Christmas Eve, selling our native wares and our native rice and our native. It's a native store, so go there, and then we got puzzles there, native puzzles. We have all these things out there that people really enjoy, and this is our 5th year out there. Also, a big shout out too for people supporting Wendy out at Southdale. The numbers are in, and they look really good. Really appreciate you checking out her art, buying her art, her cards, her paintings. Well, I guess they're not paintings; they're prints, and there's different sizes and different price points. So again, I wanted to say a big peeny gigi to everybody that is supporting Native Roots Trading Post and Pilot's Palette out in Southdale. And Southdale is the first, if you guys, we talk about it all the time, but that's the first mall in the United States. And they're really, and it's in Edina. And so they're really ramping that up again. So we're excited to be part of that and part of the economy here, and always buy local and artists. And there's a whole plethora of different people out there. So again, I just want to say a big peeny gigi. Thank you so much for supporting us and supporting artists out there. And one of the things I want to really say a big peeny gigi too is over the last few years, and especially during when all the businesses were shut down, and we remember that, Native Roots Radio Network Patreon, I wanted just to give a quick shout out to all the people that have supported us over the years and still do. It really helps, and it really keeps us going, and I really want to say a big thank you, a big peeny gigi out there for all the Patreon members. It's an amazing thing, and it's huge, and I just want to really just say a big peeny gigi thank you so much. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Prairie Band of Potawatomi Nation. A few days ago they landed and it was all over the internet. They landed a $30 million contract to vet and design a mega detention center in the Trump administration's push to stop illegal immigration. And let me tell you, this is blown up all over the internet, and this is not something we support, and most nations don't support. Prairie Band is in Michigan, so Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation really got a serious pushback on this. And, I don't know if you've noticed this, but they have now rescinded on that action, and also did some things to the people that voted for it in tribal government were fired, and power to them. I guess being proactive about that, but the other tribes across the country and people across the country were just appalled by them working, one, with the Trump administration, but also to work in detention centers that really, it's a sad thing, but really are putting away our relatives and people that are supposedly illegal to this country. And this has just been a whole fear factor. We're dealing with it big time here in Minneapolis now that the ICE goons are here and trying to arrest and put fear in the communities, and the Somali communities, and the Mexican communities. It's just been appalling to watch. We knew it was coming, but it's here now in the Twin Cities. And, again, Potawatomi did something, being locked up in a POW camp is, sent to a different place is happening here in the U.S. and history is repeating itself. And these men and women should know better. It's like the tribal police killing Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. And, I guess Custard had scouts, and that's all I really got to say about that. But they have reneged on it. And let me read a little bit about what happened a few days after this big pushback. And here's the quote from them. Prairie Band of Potawatomi Nation and Prairie Band LLC understands concerns raised about a recently awarded Department of Homeland Security planning contract that involves feasibility studies and a technical assessments. As a sovereign nation, this is what they're saying, as a sovereign nation, our values guide the decisions we make, and we acknowledge that this contract does not align with those principles. Well, here. They also go on to say, we take this matter seriously, and in response, Prairie Band LLC and Tribal Council have made the decision to terminate senior members of the LLC's leadership team. Moving forward, we are also taking a closer look at the internal review and approval process for federal contracts. They also went on to say, we recognize the weight of the news it carries for so many, as well as feelings of anger, confusion, and disappointment it caused. We hear those concerns. As a nation, we take seriously our responsibility to ensure all future engagements align clearly with our values and mission. And that's a here. I'm glad they did something about this. And people that are outraged and when things like this come up, whether it's a protest against the No Kings or your own sovereign nation or your community, go out there and protest. It really does make a difference, and people are listening. And thank goodness Prairie Band of Potawatomi Nation did change their ways. And so things like that work. Hey, up next, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll have our friend State Senator Mary Kunesh on here. You are again listening to Native Roots Radio. Oh.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Time is running out to see Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This moving exhibition of painting, poetry, and installation art explores memory's fragility and strength, honoring stories passed through generations. The show closes December 13th, so don't miss your chance to experience this transformative work. Visit All My Relations Arts before it's gone. Learn more about exhibition hours and events at allmyrelationsarts.org.
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans, plus get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Do you know that from birth to age 3, simple activities like talking, playing, reading, storytelling, and singing can boost your child's development? Little Moments Count provides parents and caregivers with the resources they need to make the most of your time together. Visit littlemomentscount.org for resources designed to support you in giving your child the best start in life. Again, please visit littlemomentscount.org.
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. I'm Bobby Wilson. Witcha.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's Native Roots Radio, and we are here with our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh. Great to see you. You are always busy. It's a super full-time job that you have. So, I want to just say a big Pinigi thank you so much for being on, as always. And I know people all across Turtle Island and listen to Native Roots Radio really appreciate your updates and insights. So thank you so much, State Senator, for being on.
My pleasure. Happy to be here, everybody.
Cool. So you want maybe talk about where you're at right now and what's going on? That's kind of an interesting thing of what's going on there, where you are.
Well, I'm in downtown Chicago. At a conference. It's the National Conference of State Legislators. And the council, or this conference, brings legislators from all different states, from all of the states, from the territories. So we have Puerto Rico here, and the Commonwealth within the United States. And then it also brings some of the Canadians down. The provinces, because the NCSL, National Council of State Legislators, is broken up into also 4 different segments or sections of our states. And so Minnesota and Illinois is in the Midwest Council of State Legislators. And I'm the chair of that. Well, I will be next year in 2026. And we're going to be holding the conference, the Midwest Conference, in our beautiful capital city of St. Paul, right around the time of the state fair. And everybody is very, very excited to come to the Minnesota State Fair. So we meet, we have keynote speakers. Over lunch, we had a professor from Loyola talking about civility and the need for civic education, because we've certainly gotten away from that. And you can knock on wood, Minnesota, that we have State Senator Steve Swedzinski, who was a former social studies teacher, who has really pushed to bring back civil courses on civility and all of that in our high schools. And so it's just been really fascinating to connect with all these different legislators, some that I've gotten to know over the years, and meeting new ones and hearing new topics of interest. And yeah, it's lovely.
Is it bipartisan?
100%
cool.
bipartisan, very much so. Very much so. And it's one of those neutral grounds where people don't come out with, with fists flying or mitts on their hands, and where we can just sort of listen and learn and hopefully go back and do really good legislation.
Yeah, I know in past when you were at events like this, people always come up to you and talk about, your bills and the things that you've done here in Minnesota. And I'm sure people are also there in Chicago.
Yeah. Because like I said, you get to know certain people, and we always like to connect and get updated on each other. I most often get asked around a lot of the Native issues, the Indigenous issues that we deal with in Minnesota, but also around the country. And a big topic is always missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. I was talking to somebody from NCSL who works on justice issues, and specifically like around recidivism for those that have been in jail or prison, and then looking at how to avoid some of those issues and how they can participate in local policing issues or like public health issues. And I asked them if they had ever done anything around MMIR, and he said no, they hadn't, but that he'd really be interested in working on that. So that's something that we got to talking about. Indian gaming is another big one because, when you look at how, so many of our tribes have been able to develop into the economic security that they have is around, it started with bingo halls, then it's these casinos. I mean, I say I remember what it was like going up north before the casinos when I was a kid. And I mean, the infrastructure on the reservations was nothing. The homes were, a lot of them were shacks or manufactured homes that were in bad shape. Roads were in bad shape. Health services were totally dependent on the Indian health services. But because of the casinos and the money that they brought, we've felt, the joy of prosperity finally and autonomy.
Yeah.
Why I think our tribes are getting more and more have a voice.
Yeah, definitely, especially here in Minnesota. I want to even get you back further, if you remember, and I know Ho Chunk was really involved with this, but they're cutting a sawzall a big hole in the side of a trailer and selling cigarettes out of there, non-taxable cigarettes. I mean, that was the beginning before bingo.
Yeah. I mean, desperate times call for desperate moves and actions. And hopefully, that we don't go backwards in any way. And I know one of the really big things that is sort of popping up now, and tribes are really, really, really concerned around the prediction markets and how it is a huge threat to tribal gaming. I know there's going to be a really good article coming out in January, written by somebody supported by the Brookings Institute. It wasn't written by me, but somebody close to me, that really lays out the threat very, very, very clearly. And at the, I'm trying to think of the National Indian something or other, they have asked us to, and when I say us, I'm talking about the American Indian Council of State Legislators, to sign on to a resolution that lays out also how they are not in favor of this prediction market, and again, how it has really detrimental effects on Indian gaming. So it's the Native Caucus, the Indian Gaming Association wants us to also bring to light and to bring to information about this. And so, Minnesota doesn't allow yet sports betting. And every year it comes out. There's a bill to allow that. And I have signed on to it in the past because, number one, it's here and people do it anyway. So why don't we, garnish the taxable income from that? Even though in many ways I am very much against gambling, just because we know how destructive it can be. But it also, if, within these bills, we're able to construct the structure so that it protects gaming casinos in Minnesota and the tribes. They try to expand it, and they allowed online
bingo or
pull tabs.
Yeah.
And we had really strict regulations around that. Well, of course, a lot of the bars didn't pay any attention. They just brought in illegal games. And we had to pull back on that, which was really a hard thing to do because it generated so much money for these different organizations that donate to the Boys and Girls Club, to hockey organizations, to this, to that. but what they were doing was actually illegal. And so then we had to build in tax breaks for them and other incentives to do away with those illegal machines. So Indian gaming is a big issue because, it's kind of exclusive to the tribes. The tribes make a lot of money off of it, but that's how they have built the progressive and the prosperous infrastructure for their members. And so that was another discussion I had with somebody, but I sat in on a session around AI and education. So I'm the chair of education finance and work very closely with Senator Swedzinski in policy. And people are like, how do we control AI? And my thought is like, how do we help kids use this as a tool? I mean, I was a library media specialist and taught all the technology skills. And so when Google came out, it was like, oh my gosh, how do we keep kids from this? Well, you can't. It's kind of like sports betting. It's here. So how do we use it in a good way? And we have to do the same thing with AI. And that was one. The other one was on food sovereignty, but they weren't talking about indigenous food sovereignty. They were talking about food sovereignty in general. So that was pretty interesting too.
Wow, that's exciting. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we are here with State Senator Mary Kunesh, our friend, and great to have you on and talk more. There's a couple other things I'd love to bring up in the next segment, and we can talk them out a little bit, get your opinion. Hey, right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Ho!
MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans, plus get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
A reminder to anyone who rides Metro buses. That means the A, B, C, D, gold, orange, or red lines. Remember to pay your fare before you get on. Either buy a ticket at your station's ticket machine, tap your go-to card, or pass to the reader at the station, or activate a ticket on the Metro Transit app. Have your proof of payment ready to show to trip agents if asked, or risk getting a citation. Thanks for riding with Metro Transit. Again, that's Metro Transit.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Do you know that from birth to age 3, simple activities like talking, playing, reading, storytelling, and singing can boost your child's development? Little Moments Count provides parents and caregivers with the resources they need to make the most of your time together. Visit littlemomentscount.org for resources designed to support you in giving your child the best start in life. Again, please visit littlemomentscount.org.
Time is running out to see Matrilineal Memory by hobby artist Michaela Schaefer at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. This moving exhibition of painting, poetry, and installation art explores memory's fragility and strength, honoring stories passed through generations. The show closes December 13th, so don't miss your chance to experience this transformative work. Visit All My Relations Arts before it's gone. Learn more about exhibition hours and events at allmyrelationsarts.org.
Hi, I'm Scott Shambot from Shambot Family Dentistry. We're the fear-free, shame-free dental office. We know dental anxiety and dental phobia are real. We'll take the time to get to know you and give you what you need to be comfortable at all times. We offer free nitrous oxide laughing gas and have high-tech options to help you feel calm and relaxed during your appointments. We'll help you get through every appointment in the most pain-free way possible. If you're having a dental emergency, we'll try and get you in the same day you call because we don't like to see anyone in pain. As my daughter Rachel says,
if you don't see my dad, please see another dentist. Take care of your teeth because they're the only ones you get.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been going to Shamblot Family Dentistry for years. They get me in last minute when I'm in pain and make regular checkups easy and comfortable.
Shamblot Family Dentistry in Hopkins and St. Paul. Find them online at shamblotfamilydentistry.com or call 1-800-FIX-MY-TEETH.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of snow with a low of 12. Then Friday, another possibility of snow in the morning with temperatures falling to 6. It's a critical time here at AM 950, and we need your help to keep the progressive voices you love on air. If you can, head to am950radio.com and make a donation today. You'll get our 6th annual calendar as a thank you. That's am950radio.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are here with State Senator Mary Kunesh from the great state of Minnesota, and we're just talking about her trip. And you know, as you were mentioning the things that were going on there and have been going on, I just like really feel blessed about having our Native people here at the table. And I know it must be tiring at times too to be in those situations and have to educate your peers. But I just want to say here, we at Native Roots Radio and our listeners are so happy that we have you and a couple other representation, and along with the lieutenant governor here in Minnesota. It does make such a big difference.
Well, thank you for saying that. And I think in Minnesota, it has made a really big difference. When I think about over the last decade or so, there was not Native American representation at our state legislature. And I'm trying to think of what year Susan Allen was elected, maybe I was elected in 2016. Maybe she was elected in 2012 or 10. Yeah.
Because I don't think she ran when you ran as a representative.
No, she was already there. So she was already there. And I worked on her campaign when she was the very first Native woman to get into the legislature. And then, of course, I think just 2 years later, Peggy Flanagan, our lieutenant governor, was elected into the House. And then 2 years after that, former Representative Jamie Becker-Finn and I were elected. And then, of course, Leish Koslowski and Heather Keeler are over there. And they have held it down in a really strong way. We know that Heather is moving on to run for Congress, and that leaves Leish there. But fortunately, Shelley Buck is running.
Yes.
And so we'll have at least two. I really wanted her to join me in the Senate, but the opportunity arose for her to join the House. And so, I mean, she's not elected yet. Let's hope she does get elected. But that leaves pretty much me over in the House or in the Senate. And so as I like to send a message out, I need help. Please, Indigenous people, consider running for these offices. I mean, I was a teacher. I didn't have political connections before I ran. And so we need folks with the knowledge and the experience and the voice to advocate for everyone, but, most especially our Native communities.
Yeah, it was really important that you were an educator too when you became representative and then state senator, because of all the bills and knowledge that you, being boots on the ground as a former educator, really helped out with your bills and whatnot.
Oh, 100%. And, I always say too that Oh, probably like 65, 75% of my job is educating people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they never knew about the missing and murdered Indigenous women, you know, that historic violence. They didn't understand about ICWA, Indian Child Welfare Act. They didn't understand or understand the history or know the history around how much we lost so much of our land in very nefarious ways. And there's just, you know, there's just so much to teach people. And I'm not saying I'm an expert or I know it all, because I'm not. I oftentimes have to educate myself before I go out and educate the others. But yeah, I'm really fortunate, and I understand the responsibility that I carry at the legislature and to the public. But I do need help.
Yeah, we'll keep bringing that up too, because on the end of the show, I always used to say, you know, run for office and vote and things like that. So, a call to action. One of the things that's come up just lately too, and I know as my former job, this was something that was brought up, and especially out in California where people are, you know, foraging wild rice and selling it, and there's a bill that you're working on or know about the foraging, and I wonder if you could explain that to me and our listening audience, and talk about where it's at.
Right. Well, first of all, wild rice is not indigenous to California. So all of that is domesticated
Right.
rice. Let's be clear about that. So this whole foraging issue, this past session, the DNR wanted, or maybe a couple years, the DNR wanted to put some really tight restrictions around foraging on state lands or in state parks. And, you know, before that, people would go into those lands, those public lands, and forage mushrooms and berries and nuts and fiddleheads. You know, those are the curled up top of ferns, and other things. And of course, within the treaties, especially for our Anishinaabe communities, they have the inherent right to gather and hunt and fish. And so with these added restrictions, a lot of people who are natural foragers would be restricted from doing a lot of the foraging that they had, or within the quantities. It was mostly around the quantities. I mean, really specifically, like 1 big gallon baggie was all you could take of, you know, mushrooms or whatever that might be. And so there was a big uproar within the foraging community, and that certainly includes the indigenous communities. And so what happened is that the legislature created the Minnesota Sustainable Foraging Task Force. And in the House, I think it's Jenny Cleavorn. And in the Senate, it's Senator Pa, P-H-A, Susan Pa, is the one who is heading this up. And they are tasked to gather and review data information, including the traditional ecological knowledge on the impact of foraging on species resilience, on the ecosystem, you know, the health of the ecosystem, and, you know, just basically aspects of Minnesota's diverse biomes. And then they're tasked with reviewing the current regulations on state land, and then come up with science-based, including traditional ecological knowledge, foraging guidelines for state lands that balance public access and foraging opportunities. And so that task force has been meeting all summer long, and they are due to come up with these recommendations to bring to the legislature.
You know, it's weird, especially the way the weather has gotten in the last 5-10 years. but I have these old history books because I love books, and there's pictures of wild rice in the Twin City lakes, like
Mm-hmm.
Bede-Makaska back in the 1900s, and maybe they were overforaged or pesticides or whatever. But I heard from a good resource too that, especially what was it, last year or the year before, when the drought was really hitting us hard, that there was wild rice coming up again in the cities, and she wouldn't tell me where because she didn't want it harvested, wanted it to regenerate. But
Mm-hmm.
that's just so interesting, all this information about foraging and that just amazing.
Yeah, certainly global warming and the changes in our weather patterns is going to make a big difference. But you know, in the Twin Cities, and I live within the Rice Creek watershed, and
Oh,
we have Rice Creek and we have Rice Lake. And if
right.
you look at the old maps with the original names of these sites and these places and these bodies of water, um, they have either mostly a lot of Dakota and Ojibwe names, and so Rice Creek is one of those. And yes, there used to be rice in all of those areas, right in the Twin Cities area. And the Rice Creek itself was a waterway that used to connect up in Mille Lacs, and it was the waterway that they would come down in their canoes with the wild rice and bring it down to, to like where not Bede-Makaska. What is it in St. Paul?
Uh,
Maybe
Phelan?
yeah, down
Lake
in that
Phelan?
area. Yep. And so, wild rice used to be found all over. And you're right. You know, the pesticides. Look at what they did to Phelan Creek when they put it underground. They covered it
Right.
all up. All of those things. And I think it's really great that we're unveiling them again and bringing them back to light. And I think you will find, I bet we will find more and more wild rice in the Twin Cities area as things change.
Well, it's really interesting when they redid Hidden Falls here in St. Paul,
Mm-hmm.
that they, what is it called? Sunrised a creek going in there. And only when the falls, when it rained, did it have runoff that went down in the falls. But once they reopened, what is it called? Sunrised or
Um,
do you know what I mean? When
I
they
know
dig up
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
when they dig up the creek and have it go its natural way, now there's a falls, a legitimate falls of fresh water that go through Hidden Falls now instead of runoff.
Yeah, I think we will see a really fabulous change in especially the metro area as some of these things are sort of rediscovered and return to their natural state of being, which
Yeah.
is going to be absolutely lovely. Yeah.
Well, we only got a minute left here. I wish I could have you on for another segment, but this is awesome, and I really appreciate you being on and checking in with our listeners.
Yeah, my pleasure. Wofilatanka.
Hey, this is State Senator Mary Kunesh, and this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break, please.
A reminder to anyone who rides Metro buses. That means the A, B, C, D, gold, orange, or red lines. Remember to pay your fare before you get on. Either buy a ticket at your station's ticket machine, tap your go-to card, or pass to the reader at the station, or activate a ticket on the Metro Transit app. Have your proof of payment ready to show to trip agents if asked, or risk getting a citation. Thanks for riding with Metro Transit. Again, that's Metro Transit.
Do you know that from birth to age 3, simple activities like talking, playing, reading, storytelling, and singing can boost your child's development? Little Moments Count provides parents and caregivers with the resources they need to make the most of your time together. Visit littlemomentscount.org for resources designed to support you in giving your child the best start in life. Again, please visit littlemomentscount.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. MNsure is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Looking for health insurance but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance plans, plus get help from an expert so you can save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
Hi, I'm Tiergan.
And I'm Hadley.
We're two of the very first listeners, and we're
Still listening to Native Roots Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we have Wendy Pilot on. She is our sacred animal portion of the show. Wendy's been on for many years. She's a co-founder of Native Roots Radio, and we're always great to it's always great to have you on. If I could talk here, Wendy. Welcome.
Thanks, Robert. In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunts.
No.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani, and that means cares for them. And I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajinga, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer for Humane World for Animals, formerly known as the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animal issues at the local and state level. It's always my pleasure to do that. So
yeah, that was easy to say too.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of things here today. Reminder, a car ride with the windows down is a great enrichment for anxious and reactive dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you have an anxious or a reactive dog, get them in the car, put the window down, and let them like the air fly in the air and let them smell all the smells.
Aren't all dogs reactional?
I don't think so. No, we have a reactionary dog.
We have always had a
I
reactionary.
know. We've never had a normal one, have we? No, there's plenty of dogs that walk down the street and are fine. They don't bark at people. They don't bark at other dogs. They're calm. We see them all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's fine. I mean, we just, Wanda's great. We love her.
Oh,
Wanda. She is. And it's funny, there's an article here that I'm trying to bring up. I have a subscription to the Washington Post, and I saved this article, but now, of course, the firewall comes up, the paywall comes up, and I'm signing in, but I can't remember my password. But anyway, the article, I'll just do like what I could remember about reading it. It's from the Washington Post. It was just the other day. Why skipping your dog's walk is a bigger deal than you think. And this is from the Washington Post. And it really talked about it is guilt. Yeah, because they talked about this these people whose landlord put a fence in their backyard, and they were really happy about it because they were like, oh, great, now I could just let my dog go out and pee and come back in the house. But then the people felt guilty because they weren't getting the dog out for its regular walk, and it really talked about how getting your dog exercise is really important. But the most important thing is to let your dog look around at its environment and sniff.
Wow.
Sniffing is like totally so important for their behavior, their emotional well-being. their stress levels and just letting them sniff. Now, sometimes Wanda will stop and sniff, and she'll sniff and sniff. It's like, okay, she's got a good smell. And I kind of leave her. I really do. I really do.
You've trained me to, too.
I will just leave her because I know that, she's really having a great time sniffing whatever she's smelling. And then sometimes she rolls around in it and I'm like, oh, geez, what the heck is that? But anyway, just let your dog sniff. It's really, really good. I read another article. It wasn't this particular one, but another one. And it was just like letting your dog just like sniff around is like it's like a mile walk for them, the excitement that they feel and everything. Yeah.
And you schooled me on that. And that's, I always make sure that I let our four-legged relatives sniff now.
Yeah. Well, I know, like when we walk, a lot of times we'll see people pulling their dog, not letting them sniff.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know if they've already been out on an hour walk and the dog sniffed a million things and they have to get back home. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen to this one. I love this. In Japan, technology and compassion come together to protect wildlife. Trains now play sounds that mimic deer snorts and dog barks, preventing wildlife from crossing the tracks.
Huh.
Yeah, by using these animal-friendly sounds, train operators are reducing deer collisions by 45%, helping to protect both wildlife and passengers. This innovative approach reminds us that even the simplest changes can have significant environmental impacts.
Wow.
Yeah, so what they do is the trains use speakers that snort like deer for 3 seconds, then bark like dogs for 20 seconds. Yeah, and that scared the deer off the track. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm really happy about this one too. Sweden has officially become the first country in the world to go 100% cage-free for egg-laying hens.
Wow.
Yeah, freeing 17 million birds from a life behind bars. No more cramped wire cages. I'm so excited about this. I can't even say wire. No more standing on metal floors, just fresh air, open space, and the right to be a chicken. This is like really huge for animal welfare, and I hope that other countries and states and anywhere who, these poor factory farmed animals are just too much. But hey, go Sweden. I think that's pretty good.
That is great.
I really do. Yeah. So I have some questions you want me to read them and you can answer them? Since this is kind of like a fun fact Friday. A lot of them you've heard before, so I bet you can. And I think these are kind of easy. So this might be not so challenging anyway.
Sure.
I'm going to try to give you the question without giving you the answers and see if you know it first.
Oh, geez.
What is the only male animal that becomes pregnant? I'm going to kind of just give it to you like that. And if you need help,
I need help.
All right, I'll give you a donkey.
No.
Platypus.
Yes.
Seahorse.
Oh, seahorse for sure.
Seahorse. Yep.
For sure.
Ding, 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 ding. Seahorse. Yep.
Wait a minute.
I love that you have those buttons. Which animal doesn't make any sound?
Yeah, give me a hint.
A rabbit, a fish, or a bull?
A rabbit.
Fish. The answer is fish.
They make bubbly sounds.
It's probably because they're breathing out of their gills, but no. Yeah. Okay.
That was a trick question.
This is a hard one. Which animal has the strongest sense of smell? I'll give you 3.
Mm-hmm.
A bloodhound,
a
polar bear, or an elephant.
Oh, geez. I was going to say a bloodhound.
Bloodhound, polar bear, or elephant. No, it's a polar bear. I would have thought bloodhound as well. Yeah.
The elephant has a long nose, so.
I know, right? This is a kind of a fun one. We've talked about this before. I'm going to see if you could remember this.
Oh, geez.
Which animal gives pink milk?
Pink milk? Come on, give me a hint.
Okay, a camel, a hippopotamus, or a kangaroo?
Oh, kangaroo.
No, it's hippopotamus. A hippopotamus gives pink milk. And when they sweat pink sweat. Mm-hmm.
That's the one I was looking
Oh,
for.
is that the one you look, baby? You have to have those.
When I miss it,
you have to have those marked. Do you have them marked?
I do. I just
okay.
just not organized today.
What animal dies after mating?
Oh, I should know this. Give me the hint.
Okay, octopus,
No.
a bee, or a bat?
Jeez, it's not an octopus. How about a bee?
A bee, yes. It's a bee. You got it.
Well, we got 30 seconds. Give me a quick one.
Okay. What is the largest animal on Earth?
A whale?
The blue whale.
The blue one, yes.
Yeah, you got to say the blue one because other whales are small.
Yes.
Which animal does not close its eyes?
Oh, you mean like blink?
I don't know. It doesn't say blink. It just says what animal does
All right,
not
quick.
close
We
its
got 10
eyes.
seconds.
Owl, snake, or fish?
Doesn't close their eyes. Fish.
Correct.
We'll be back tomorrow. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio.
A reminder to anyone who rides Metro buses that